Hello again, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of the Mirror Football Show on Mirror TV on YouTube. We're going to talk a little bit about the Blitz Magazine that Mike Boydham here is holding up. But first, we want to introduce a new member, the Mirror Sports Team. It comes to us via Tyrone and Huntington and Clearfield County. Andy Stein. People not familiar with Andy. I'm going to let Andy introduce himself a little bit here. But he's joined up with Michael Boydham here, our guru of high school football, Buck Frank, and myself, Scott Franco. Andy, tell the good folks at home a little bit about yourself before we start talking about this puppy right here.
Yeah, so if you are familiar with Tyrone and Bellwood Anna sporting events, you've probably seen me there. I was the sports editor at the Tyrone Daily Herald from 2018 until about a month ago. Back in 2020, I was also the sports editor in Huntington. I didn't do a whole lot with Huntington sports, but you might have seen me there every once in a while too. Probably aren't as familiar with me down there. Before that, I was at the Clearfield and DuBois newspapers. So, although I'm new to the Altoona Mirror, I'm definitely not new to newspapers by any means. I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and
you played high school football at Mo Valley.
Andy's a Mo Valley, which is in our Blitz Magazine right here.
Shout out Michael.
And he played at Teal College. It's spelled like Thiel, but it's pronounced Teal.
So we now have the expertise of a lineman. You know, Scotty and I look at the stats and everything, and we know that stuff, but now we'll be able to say, like, why can't this team run the ball? And Andy will be able to answer.
Why can't they stop?
It's because I'm not a right tackle from Mo Valley, that's why.
And now, since I don't have my sons anymore in high school, I have no knowledge of football anymore. Though I technically didn't have that knowledge before. I used to just cover it up by talking about my kids. But now Andy will be with us throughout the year sometimes.
Oh, don't sell yourself short. We know all about the junior high football teams.
Because once again, I long live junior high football. But throughout the years, on times when Mike's away on assignment, then we might have Andy in with us, or maybe Neil Rudell will stop by too. But yeah, Andy's going to be part of the Mirror football team here, and we didn't even have to trade to get him. I mean, we just signed him.
What?
I mean, we just one of those free agent contracts.
Straight up deal, yeah.
Yeah, could not turn down the money we were offering. But Dadley, speaking of money, let's talk about the Blitz. Which right now, if you're watching this, you can guarantee come to the Mirror offices in Altoona
at 301
Cayuga Avenue. Stop by
8 to 4 weekdays,
Monday through Friday,
and it's only $5.95 for. I mean, this is. Look at all this content, and there is 100.
Can we get Dan, our director? Dan,
there's 140.
Dan Eisberg's back with us.
There's almost 150 pages of this stuff. And I mean, you have the spotlight on the team, which is this year we're spotlighting the seniors.
Some early rosters.
You get then on the other page you get all their stats from the season before, and you get a scouting report on offense, defense, and an overall outlook. Then there's
schedule information too.
There's these nice for each conference that we cover. Like here, you see the mid-pen. We rank that. The coaches have ranked the teams in order that they expect them to finish in. So even the teams that say you're from Chambersburg and you want to pick this up or call an order one from Chambersburg, they have information about Chambersburg in here. All the conferences that we have teams from the magazine in are covered in this. So
we hope these will be out by.
They'll be on the newsstands everywhere, like Sheets, Weiss, Martin's, by July 29th. But like I said, the best way to get one right now and to ensure yourself to get one is to come here to the Mirror from 8 to 4.
And just to toot our own horn here, because Buck Frank puts all this stuff in it. He does a fabulous job. I mean, the look of it. I mean, you don't see newspapers around the country putting materials like this, but
this will be Buck's only cameo on this show here. Look, there his face is. We got him on the show here.
But Mike, talk about. Can you talk about the thing you did with Twitter with this? The The
Well,
content?
that's going to be done by the time the show's out.
Okay. Well, I just think it's neat because some of the things that you heard people say about it, like the coach from Maryland
Oh yeah.
saying stuff like that, saying about, I don't want to, but you read it more
We
than I did.
posted the magazine on Twitter and everything, and there's been people like from Maryland who were like, he was like, I wish Maryland had something like this and that their papers would go to this. And I mean, like Scott said, not to toot our own horn, but this is a major project that we put a lot of time into while we're covering day-to-day sports. And your support on this is so important. Like, if you can get out there, it's $6. I mean, it's $6, and it really helps the kids get a chance. What Andy, when you were at Moshannon Valley, like, wouldn't this feel like you were in Sports Illustrated if there was a profile about you in here?
Absolutely. And I remember when I was in high school, Todd Irwin actually wrote a story about me about a week before the season started. And I think I would much rather have seen it in a magazine like this because, I mean, even when I was at other newspapers, I would pick this up. It was just a great tool for me to get ready for this season and for everybody that's works in sports media, I think. So.
And if you look around, I mean, if you look at the stuff that's on the newsstands, like the Street and Smith College stuff and Athlon, they're like $10 now or more. This thing is still kept down at $6.
Yeah.
You were saying. I mean, again, it's just you do not see high school. We had I'll mention him because I love the guy and he loves us. Gary Black was calling, going. It was 10 till 5, and Gary goes, "Can I come in and get this?" And I was like, "Gary, I don't think you can drive from Loysburg to the Mirror in 10 minutes, but I promise if you come tomorrow." And I was told Gary was waiting. The Northern Bedford football coach was waiting to buy this the next day. So again, we are tuning on, but you got to, if you haven't seen this, you got to see it to believe it because the amount of information that Mike collected and that Buck displayed. Put it this way, it's Stephen
John
Tuhart.
Hartsock,
And
right.
John Hartsock wrote all the stories like he has for us every year. And I'll brag again, my son was in it last year. My son, that made his day when he opened up, when high school kids open up and see their photo. These are color photos. This isn't a black and white. But it's a really nice magazine to get you ready for when our other football thing comes out in August, right before the season, I believe, starts Friday, August 26th.
And just remember that this has some extra teams in it too, like West Branch, State College,
Bishop McCord, right.
Bishop McCord is in it this year, Bald Eagle area. So just because the Mirror doesn't cover day-to-day stuff at some of these schools, they are featured in this magazine. So make sure you check and see if your school's in here. Like Southern Huntington is in here. We have a nice spread of Nate Myers in the middle here.
Do we want to say who's on our cover? Or do we want to tease people? So
Well,
that
I think
they'll come
they've
by?
seen it. I mean,
Well, can you
I told
tell
them
who they are?
that.
We got quarterbacks.
And Carson Kiesewetter, Garrett Harold, and Jeff Hohenstein, they were actually all first-team Mirror All-Stars last year. Jeff was the quarterback and co-player of the year. Garrett was the wild card, I think, and Carson was the athlete. All first-teamers, and I mean, just think, all those kids are in the Laurel Highlands Conference. That's going to be a some great games this fall.
And next year, now that we have Andy on the team, Andy probably will be pushing for 3 linemen to be on the cover.
Absolutely.
Though I don't think we can get 3 linemen on the cover, maybe 2 linemen on the cover. But who knows what we're going to have. We are going to be having soon our high school football preview. Probably will be coming out the week of, well, if it's the 26th, the first night.
Hey, that first night, that first weekend, you got Tyrone Bellwood,
Always
and this
good.
is going to be the last time that is the game that kicks off the season because they're moving when they're both going to Laurel Highlands. It's going to, I think, the first year they were both in Laurel Highlands, it's like week 5.
It'll be
So you got Tyrone Bellwood to kick off season, Hollidaysburg, Altoona, and then you got on Saturday BG and Central,
which may have more people at it than the other 2 games Mike mentioned combined. Is that at Central, you said?
I think it is.
Oh, you'll be parking down near the water fountain, down near the Roaring Spring Water to get a ticket to that game, to get into that game. But
Well, you know what? We can find out where it is because we'll just look in the Blitz magazine.
What was the big opener for Mo Valley? Did you guys have one?
It's actually at Mansion Park.
Oh,
It's
there you
at,
go. So that
it's
should be enough people to go to that one.
Yep.
What was Mo Valley? Did you have a traditional opener?
When I was in high school, we opened with Southern Huntington every week. I think that's changed. They probably play Southern Huntington in mid-season now, but that was always a tough opener.
Is it what was West Branch your big rival?
West Branch and Glendale, both
West Branch
of them.
and Glendale, okay.
I think if you ask anybody from Mo Valley, it would be Glendale. I mean, and there's that thing in my house. My dad went to Glendale. Glendale beat us my senior year for the first time in like 20 years or something like that.
Without a Dubler on the team.
Mo Valley's actually hosting Tussey Mountain to open the year this year, and then September 9th, the big game at Glendale. That was the game last year where Suds Dubler helped Glendale win with just 15 players.
And then he ended up winning the All-Star game. He was the MVP of one of the All-Star games this past spring where he played quarterback. And the kid was such a good athlete, he gets MVP as a quarterback. But do we have anything else about the Blitz we want to mention here?
I think we're good with the Blitz, but I'm sure you wanted to say what, didn't you want to talk about what you wanted to collect this year?
Oh, yeah. Mike and I are we've been debating it. This is how important stuff is to us. Mike would like us to collect towels, like high school towels that have your logo on it.
I just thought it would be easier because he wants these high-priced, expensive things.
I was thinking, I wanted the mascot. That's been my dream. I would like the head of the mascots brought in to collect and we'd return them. But I know that's not realistic. I think we could get beanies, or as older people call them, tassel caps, but I'm willing to wait a year on that. But I want to put that out there so if the people are watching, think about that. But yeah, this year, if you can mail or drop off, if you see Andy at a game, you'll see Mike at games. You probably won't see me at Mike's at games. But you can mail him to 301 Cayuga Avenue, Altoona, PA, 16602. But we want to collect the towels, and then we're going to display them on this backdrop, which I'd like to brag my daughter made. And I'd also like to brag that, again, Dan Eisenberg has this thing propped up on silly putty, and it hasn't fallen on me yet. It fell twice before we started filming. That shows you how good he is at that stuff. But yeah, we're going to collect towels this year, so if you have a team towel with your logo on it, send it in. We'll figure a way to display it. And I think it makes the show a little bit more fun than your other shows that are now popping up all over YouTube, copying us, I guess. But anything else?
Make sure you go out and get a Blitz. It helps us so much.
Yes.
And it helps give the kids the exposure and the chance to be in something like this. I know I would have felt super special if they had a Tyrone baseball one like this when I was a kid. So, if you want your kids to be in this when they get to high school, get one of these now, and they'll still be one of these when they get to high school.
And support our advertisers that are in that as well.
Thank you to all the advertisers.
But anyways, for Andy Stein, for Mike Boydum, I'm Scott Franco. Thanks again for watching, and we're looking forward to week 1, that last week of August. Take care.